up talking bad about poor Elon. The reason he can't stop breeding is that's where we come from. So you can have the best brain and the best heart, but if you don't have working genitals which you enjoy using, you'll disappear. And so, like polish over time, people are predominantly self interested breeders. They'll go out of their way and sacrifice everyone and anyone to be able to pull off reproduction. Um, yeah. So he can't stop breeding because he's just an ego. It really is ego because you're putting your feelings above the natural continuum. Um, the animals all eat each other. Certainly, we've created possibilities for people like the ability to live forever for free and stuff like that. Um, and so we have options, but not yet. Nobody does that yet that we know of. Um, so, yeah, he can't stop because he's just obeying his principal operations. So, his companies suck. Like, all of Elon Musk's inventions already existed. Satellite internet already existed. Electric vehicles already existed. Um, explosive gas rocketry already existed. I was flying reusable rockets in the 90s. Um, neural implants already existed, you know. Um, and his first business, I think his first business was like MapQuest. He sold like geodata to somebody for like, I think it was $2 million or something. His second business was about money. PayPal's literal principle is we're going to hold your money for you and we're going to take a tiny percentage as it moves, right? So it's like super lowbrow. He's not that smart. See, the problem that he has is he doesn't know he's the modest, humble one. The surface human beings are the slave class for a race of pedophiles. And most people don't get that. They think that their religions are legit, the holidays are legit, they really fought for independence, their government really is real. They don't understand that they're living in a total hoax. They're like, you know how they put blinders on cows, they put bait on a fish hook. The surface man is a lied to individual. He has no chance of having anything. And so what Elon Musk has done is perpetuated modest, humble genes. He has put people out there that were basically losers. All of his first son got their gender swapped, which he says he regrets. He says it was pounced on him without his knowledge. So, how smart can you be? Not very. So, it's not like he invented a new type of technology. It's not like Elon's like, this is the flying device. He just took explosive gas. He's like, what if they're reusable? Reusable rockets, and everyone's trying to hype it. So, the wisest thing he did was take the billion budgets, is take his money and reinvest it in social media because he absolutely crushed social support. When you have more bots than anyone cheering you on, some common people will join in. The people who join the herd will support you, but I know better. Um, I wish he could hold it together and stop breeding. Um, yeah, men are duplicitous, all about them, sperm contenders. Time to do another one. Oh well. The fact that they can drop it off and then forget about the person is kind of like uh, nature's uncomplicated efficiency. So he doesn't have to create the kid himself. He can just like enjoy mating, but yeah, it's sad. I think he carries X around to advertise to future baby mamas because I know women's psychology from being like a pickup artist. They care about making kids a lot because it's where they come from. So they care about making kids. They would rather have a baby with somebody than have a relationship. It's like that. So, um, like I haven't had any kids. I've had zero because I'm not like that. I'm a holographic speed painter guy. So I noticed that none of his technology is new, and it's not even the best tech. Perhaps he's the most organized in a business sense. Maybe he understood he needed to make a principal sum, and then he can get government contracts, and then he can get favor. Nobody's going to support someone they don't know. If you spent 15 hours palling around with them, they're probably going to be way more inclined to listen to your idea. So, evolution. If it takes money to breed, and if your rich kids are more successful, then yeah, the system is prioritizing people that simply seek funds. So, I don't think he's a genius. It's not like, ever balance a stick on your hands? Not that hard. He made the rocket fly down with gas. I guess that was like, check this out. I'm gonna flip this bottle over. I don't know. It wasn't meritless, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, that's the future. Nah, the future is gonna be a different type of like energy flight. Things that just naturally want to lift. They were mentioning they used AI to make a material that's as light as styrofoam and as strong as steel. That would change the propulsion dynamic. I think doing Elon's explosive gas rocketry is disastrous because not going to Mars ever, bad idea. Rushing off right now in a tube filled with explosive gas, also a bad idea. And reusable rockets for satellite saturation, just get a big cannon. It's all you need. You could easily have a ground-based railgun and launch things at super velocity into orbit. You don't need to have the reusable. We caught the tube. I really don't care. Um, yeah, dude cannot stop breeding. It's like, we know of 13 kids allegedly, and the problem is that, like I said, he's decent, but he's not a genius. He doesn't know he's the slave class. He doesn't know he's serving a secret master race, or he does and doesn't care. Um, and so he's making people that are modest and humble looking and who are born to suffer. They're literally going to have a painful, tormented inner working so that a secret ruling class can party. And he said, that's fine with me. He's rotting alive and he's trying to hide his age so he can breed more. Let's give this away. This party's just getting started, Elon says. So, I'm sure he spends money to make sure my videos don't go anywhere. Like talking about anti-circumcision and the secret government, I can't imagine one person on Earth who doesn't need or want to hear that, but they always go like, oh, it means you weren't good at presenting it. I studied public speaking as a kid. I went to a special school for public speakers. I did public speaking in the military. I was a briefer. And I studied communications in college, and I was a pickup artist. I can talk to people. I got no problem doing it. I can get up in front of a crowd and feel totally calm. But I know where the paywall is because they'll tell you. They'll show you in advertisements. It's like official YouTube partners. Every single major website, when you start making real content, will give you an official partner portal, and they'll want you to pay them. So, no free internet. The landlords, man, they collect rent to make a profit. The problem with taxes is it creates people desperate for more. The money doesn't come from taxes. Government funding does not come from tax dollars. That's a myth. But what taxing any income does is it makes people desperate for even more of it. Is that eventually it's every dollar you get is really like 50 cents. So they just go like, how can I have more? How can I have more? And that's really like my primary criticism with Elon is all of his companies have these like very expensive government contracts to keep them going. All of them, Neuralink, all that stuff is all pumped. He didn't, his investors are people who write checks using the government machine. Um, Tesla. I would have taken, because electric's really simple. The electric motor is like 1/15th the size of the car motor. And so you could easily have a vehicle that's just a battery in the front, a giant battery, and that uses motors on the wheels to travel. That's possible. You don't need a differential. You don't need any of that. He did not do that. He did like an AI driving vehicle where all the batteries are under the bed. So when the murderers behind the AI get freaking jumpy, they can cause you to crash and then light your vehicle on fire. So, yeah, I would have had the batteries like maybe segregated in the front and the back with like a firewall. Um, and then just have the motors in the wheels. And then that would be a really, really efficient vehicle. That would be the amount of size, the componentry and the number of pieces in a combustion gas engine is insane. Combustion gas engines in those cars are too complicated. It's not easy to work on. It sucks. You can tell the people directing labor don't do any labor themselves. So that's the problem, is when the people who direct work don't work. That's when slavery happens. So yeah, Elon can't stop breeding because it's his biological imperative. He's going to consider doing that as his primary secret motivation behind everything he does. So I chose to elevate it and say you need people who live forever for free, and you should wait till then, and I lived to that. So he believes we need to make more kids because kids are the future. It's so cute, but he's just advertising. Our kids are not the future. You're the modest, humble slaves of pedophiles. Nobody wants to be us. And he doesn't know that. All of his inventions were done before. Every single thing that he created, except for self-driving cars, but I'm sure that had existed from some engineer in the past. And things like missiles are self-driving. Missiles can pick their own targets and stuff and fly around looking for new ones. So obviously, like, the technology had existed for a long time. Um, yeah. Elon Musk. It's sad. I see him as a very greedy person.